topic is not like the usual topic where I talk about the best practices in Flutter, or the best state management, the tool, or the expert talk. It's going to be a little different, and it's more about how Huawei kind of created its own services and the demand to support cross-platform frameworks like Xamarin, Flutter, React Native. I'm sure Francesco must have explained exactly what this HMS is all about. So these kind of demands have been increased. So why not adopt things and see how these kind of integrations or cross-platform really works? It's just not that you stick to one technology, work, you're done with your day. No, it's all about exploring, right? So now, in order to meet these demands, Huawei was continuously trying to release plugins and updates to support more of the developers. And one such kit was the Map kit, which I was quite intrigued and kind of interested to know more about it. So today we will see how this Map kit really works and how do we work on a Flutter project. So Francesca has already introduced, so I'm a Google developer expert, a community builder, YouTuber, so you must have seen me in various conferences. Glad to meet you guys as well. So today's agenda is pretty straightforward, simple and straightforward, I would say, where I kind of expose you to what HMS Maps is all about, its features, its functionality, and the simple example to demonstrate. So you're going to see how I'm going to start from beginning to end. If I have to include HMS Map and explain the nitty-gritty features and the aspects of the Map kit, okay? So how can you leave without introducing Petal Map? Because the moment I explored HMS Map kit, I was so much into the Petal Map that I said, okay, you know what, I'm going to introduce this. Everybody has to see what this Petal Map is all about and how it's a map service based, created by TomTom, provided by Huawei for devices with operating system, HarmonyOS and Android. These are the two operating systems which it supports. By the way, HarmonyOS is the operating system by Huawei. And we'll also see a couple of the features and more on. So just a word of caution, everything is not completely developed. It's still in the initial stage. Feel free to explore it. Do not try to compare it with something that's already existing and it's completely developed. So just explore it. As a Flutter developer, I tried exploring it and saw the beauty of it and just want to share. That's what community is all about, right? So HMS. So before I dwell into what HMS using Map kit is and the example to understand in brief what the HMS is, let's understand how did this really come into existence. What are the features that you can avail? I think Francesco has kind of explained and given a brief session about it, right? So I would say HMS is the hub of applications and services,
Kamal, can you
providing features like Huawei ID.
Kamal?
Yes, Francesco.
Yeah, you are showing the presenter mode. Can you share only the slide?
Great. Now, all good?
That's good. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks. So if you ask me what this HMS is all about, it's about the hub of the application, services, providing features like Huawei ID, push notification, payment from Huawei to its devices. Now, why do I really need it? It's all to provide a better seamless experience, faster and smarter. That is what we want, right? At the end of the day, even though how good the tool is, if it's really not helping a developer and the customer, I wouldn't even use it. So all of our various factors, like we know that for some reasons we could not use the Google services. So Huawei came up with this and thought that it's time to expand HMS throughout its global users. And that's how the rise of HMS came into picture. So HMS is like this Huawei's only solution to combat GMS, and it was to create its own competing platform, I would say. And it also kind of provides third-party developer with tools and services for creating their own apps. Now, if you ask me, there are two components actually here. One is the user-facing component and one is the developer-facing component. When I say user-facing component, they have these app galleries, even I would say even the first party Huawei apps and services. But when I say to the developer facing component, that is where I'm really interested. We are looking for the APIs, SDKs, services, and also the developer that can actually easily create these apps and improve the apps. So Huawei ID is just like the Google ID and the Apple ID. The moment you get into the developer console, you will have to create one, which is very mandatory. And then the mobile cloud, which works like in sync with the Huawei ID, which gives you access to all the data and resources in one place. And then video streaming, browser, game center, you name, everything is available. So personalized map display interactions make location-based absolutely fine, right? It works better for your app. HMS Map is supported on Android, web, and Harmony OS. But there are certain things which I would like to explain. Say map kit. Now, when I say map kit, what exactly it is? Everything is in form of kit. So it's a development kit, which is the map services developed by Huawei, where you can easily integrate map-based functions into your app, like the Google Maps, to talk about a similar. So it kind of supports more than 200 countries and region, 40 plus languages. UI elements are awesome, marker, shapes, polygon, layers for customization, which is what we're looking, right? The moment I want to implement a Google Map. And also it interacts with the app with gesture and buttons. Tell me how you can find maps with gesture detection. The moment I say this, it kind of stops, kind of direction. So the gesture also really works. So if you work with Flutter, I'm sure this was my first app that I kind of created when I came up with my YouTube series where I had to work on Google Maps. It was simple Flutter application, just use Google Maps plugin with simple markers. And then in the bottom, you can see that I kind of used the fitted box and the sliding menu. So as and when I click on the restaurant, it takes me to that particular marker. It was pretty simple, something that I loved to work on it. And it was my initial projects that I really worked. But I did not forget, there was just one API key and that's it. It was pretty fine. But what about as and when we go with different operating system, cross platforms, how is this going to kind of suffice and how are we going to solve this real-time problem? So that's when, if you actually look, the previous map looked absolutely fine. It was good to track location, everything was fine. But trust me, if I have a map, something like this, which has got a predictable GIF, definitely I would love to use a map like this where I can see the real-time buildings, real-time services, live view, and really tells me where I have to turn right or turn left, or what is this building all about? Who would not wish to have a map which is kind of interactive, right? And it also kind of predicts the traffic along your route, whether it's heavy or light, and even the traffic pattern. They kind of use these artificial intelligence to have this check on the traffic patterns and then come up with an algorithm to ensure that every day this time there's traffic and all that. So if you're catching a plane or a train, we need someone to help you find the nearest elevator, right? Every time I always have that issue. Or the escalator, your gates, your platform, your baggages, your check-in counters. What if I have something that could actually tell all this? That's the future of maps. So if you want to pick something from the mall, you want to know where's the first floor, a store, and how to get into it, rather than just going through this entire mall, roaming and in out. Just go in, finish your job, snap out, that's it. So that's the kind of map you're looking for in the future, and Huawei is actually providing one. So all that they do So all that they do is a personalized map, so which has the enriched map elements, interactive modes for buildings, your exclusive maps, and it also provides this massive data of 2,000, I wouldn't say 2,000, I would say 260 million POIs, 570 million addresses are being fed, 80 million postcodes, and administrative divisions level from 1 to 9. It's just not 1 to 4, it's 1 to 9. That's the depth and level at which maps are getting zoomed. And it also supports language, which is also a major concern because it's not always I'm going to use English, right? And even the display search is also made very predominant, very easy to use. And few features that I would definitely like to highlight about MapKit is the live services, traveling. So finding out the nearby restaurants, attractions, traveling, like helping users discover the hotels, scenic spots, shops, enterprise services like you're displaying the geographical locations and businesses. And lastly, the resources. Tell me as a developer, if I do not have proper documentation, proper API, proper issues getting open, even though how good the service is, I will not use it. So that's how community gets built. So even MapKit has awesome maintenance of all these documents. So you should definitely check out about Huawei MapKit. So I'll leave the link in the end section, my references, you can definitely refer. So now let's start to the interesting part of the session where really I'm going to kind of show you how to start building or implementing the Huawei map into your Flutter application. So I kind of made this small roadmap where you have to follow this. It's like the blueprint, I would say. So let's get started. So first thing you would need is a Huawei developer account. I would get into a detailed screenshots as to how this gets, but this is the roadmap or the blueprint, I would say. So first, the developer account, like the Google account, Apple ID, you need to get an account created. Pretty simple, straightforward, verification done, good to go. Then you have a project creation where everything starts with a project name. So ensure that the name of the project is similar like your Flutter project name. Okay, that's one thing you got to remember. And then you have to enable MapKit. Trust me, there are so many people who do everything, but they wouldn't have switched on the MapKit enabled mode. So definitely your map is not going to work. Then you have to add the app by kind of adding your app details. And then you're going to set location, that is like setting to predefined data centers. You will be given with a set of data centers like nearby locations. So select one. So I'm just giving you a gist of it. Details, yeah, you would see in the next screen. So next you would have the .json file, which you'll have to download. And then it is like the SDK base library, which will be successfully added to your project once you download and add it to your app folder. Similar like Flutter, similar like Android. It's just that the interface, the look, few extra criteria to be followed. That's it. And then internet permissions. Yes, you're accessing map, you need one. And then you need to add plugins, which is the Flutter Map plugin that I'm using in this example. And then we have functionality based on your UI. So based on your UI, whether you would just want the map to be displayed, or you want some markers, or you want some fitted blocks, it's totally up to you. So here I've just created with simple icon. So after functionality, some extra properties. What are the things that I can really add to emphasize or to make my application kind of beautiful, right? So as I mentioned, the Huawei developer account can be created using this particular link. You can bookmark it. I'll leave the link again in the chat for your references. And once you're done with this, you get the dashboard. So you create an account verified, click on the products, you can explore this page, you have all the kits available. All you have to do is click on the app gallery, connect, and let's get started. That's a button there. So the moment you click on it, you are taken to this typical dashboard, which is the My Projects. Now here you got to enter your project detail, same as the project name, which was the only one thing that you need to remember. So once you're done with it, you're good to go. And another one is you have to select the map kit. So that's why you actually click on the Manage API, which is very important. Click on that and select the map kit enable. And then you navigate to the general information tab where you have an add app tab. These are the tab where you actually feed in all your package details. You know, package details can be found from the Android manifest or your pop spec, right? So just add their category app, always mention the category as app and language. So this is the first time setting that you do when you're actually implementing the map. So once you get to know the drill of it, you're good to go to start with the couple of other apps. And yeah, this is where you add the details, as I mentioned, the category, the package details, and the other details. So after you're done with it, similarly, if you work with Firebase or Firestore, you would have the JSON file getting downloaded. You add few dependencies in your build.gradle, right? The similar way you try to add the same thing, add it in your app folder, get your dependencies, and also ensure that the SDK, minimum SDK is set to 19 or above, or else these map functionalities would not work. And also again in the general info tab, enable data processing location so that it finds the location at which you are and it gives you the access to the data centers. And a few things, user permissions, adding the JSON file, and also adding the SDK version should be minimum 90. So just follow all this. And finally, the package. Yes, you need the package to get your maps rolling up, and Flutter has one, which is the Huawei map. And you have to get it on your pub spec, add it to the dependencies, and do a pub get, and you get that particular package. Okay, so this was the example. So nothing fancy, it's a simple screen with a map. All I did was created a stateless widget, and then I kind of added the Huawei map. You can see the return map type is normal, initially camera position, the latitude, longitude, and there, good to go. So all I do is this, and I get the map. So if you have set everything, enabled map, added your JSON file, everything, you will find a map. It's not coming from Google, it's coming from HMS. So that's the first successful step in getting your map. Next is, okay, I'm happy with it, but how do I add some navigation? So I kind of added a few raw material icons. You see those, one is restaurant, police, hospital. So as and when I kind of click, it kind of navigates to a different location. So creating that raw material button just for the reference, and on pressed, I kind of go to a particular function which takes to your latitude and longitude positions. Then I thought, okay, you know what, it's just not plain. Always map is always kind of connected to markers. So let's add some markers. Markers, I've just used an array of markers with set markers, and you're good to go. So it's similar to Google Map, but yes, what I'm trying to say here is even with another services, you are able to integrate using it in Flutter. So that's how flexible Flutter has become, and it's been adopted by so many people and easy to work on it. So I do not have to follow anything complicated. Initial setup state, and I'm good to go with the same thing. If you see my first application that I created on Google, on Flutter with Google Maps, it's almost the similar, but just with few changes and few settings. And here I kind of added a few more attributes. Yes, definitely a needed one. And to be explained now, what are these attributes are tilt gesture enabled. Very important, really looks attractive when you're trying to zoom into a particular position. Building enabled. I'm going to show you in a minute how this looks. Rather than the old style satellite kind of a map, you get a buildings enabled, indicates the 3D building layer, and also there's a compass, zoom, rotate controls. Who wouldn't want to have a map like this? And also there is traffic status layer, which could be added. So once you explore the Huawei Map API, you get to know all these attributes. So finally, that's the map. I click on the restaurant, it takes me to the restaurant, and you can see the building view, right? Pretty nice. So this actually kind of gives me, okay, what are the buildings next to it in case even if I'm not able to figure out the destination, right? So it's a very simple example. Just try it out to see how Huawei Map, how to integrate them in your Flutter application. Okay, since we learned of MapKit, I just want to highlight briefly about Petal Map also, because if something is really good, why not talk about it, irrespective of what technology or what tech stack or where does it come from. So Huawei App Gallery is also offers you an app, right, called Petal Search. Before coming to the Petal Map, let me talk about the Petal Search first. So it is one-stop shop for searching news, images, app, and the same search is kind of introduced in your Petal Map also. So Petal Map is this map-based service by TomTom provided by Huawei. And this is the device with the operating system, HarmonyOS and Android. As of now, it's supporting. So if you actually look how Petal Map is different from the normal rest of the map is, this is what I can say. So Petal Map is Huawei's high-quality, convenient mapping and navigation tool, offering position services, impressive maps. Trust me when I say impressive map, the maps are really awesome. Display, places to search, just not what exactly you're looking for. It also gives you an alternative options, navigation, favorite places list, uses over 140 countries and regions to be used. Petal Map supports map display in multiple languages, which is also one of the biggest assets when compared to the other maps. Voice notification in all languages, Mandarin, German, Italian. The look and feel is entirely different. 3D view of maps, satellite view, and suggestion, incidents. If there is a road blockage, it's going to tell you what kind of blockage is it. Is it due to flood? Is it due to maintenance work? It gives you more information. That's what we want, right? Rather than you keep thinking as to what really happened at that point. The road is closed. So that kind of intense map is what we are looking for. And a few more just features just to highlight about it is the lane guidance actually kind of navigates the complex road with ease, precise down to the lane you need to be in. Actually, that's very important, especially for driving services. Get an instant overview of traffic conditions, choose of multiple routes. So this is all being available in Petal Maps. So if you haven't tried one, try it out and see how cool this is. And I would say hands down, the best part about it is the offline map. So even without internet connection, you can enjoy free navigation. That's what made me really look out for this particular application or the services from Huawei. And it reports road issues, shares the condition information by report, and also you can book flow, hotels, everything. Another interesting part about this Petal Map is it respects your privacy. It doesn't share everybody's information to everybody. Gestures, 3D view. I think hardly these days we have map with these kind of features. So I thought I would share this with you, and I'll just freeze this section for a minute, but still I'll share the PPT again. So these are the references. So the developer Huawei.com, if you go and start exploring things, you would find tons of information, the future of the operating system, the future of maps. So you can see exactly how the digital and the tech world is kind of revolving here. And feel free to ping me, contact me on any of this channel, follow me, and the code is all available on the GitHub. I'll share the GitHub link as well. So whatever example you have seen today, you can see it on my GitHub link. You can play around with it and enjoy and see that how you can really work with different services, just not Google service. Huawei is also another service which provides immense support, and see what innovative solution you can come. At the end of the day, it's all about delighting customer, building communities, and working towards your passion, right? So give a try, never stick to one technology, explore it and see what you can come up with. Thank you.